Picture this. You're packing your bags, dreaming of Harvard, Stanford, or even just that one exchange program where you get free food and a cool hoodie. But then, bam, Trump 2.0 enters the chat. Suddenly, the visa says, try again next time. The research grant goes to you. Your exchange program? Vanished, like your GPA after finals week. But what could Trump's return to the White House mean for students and education in Southeast Asia? In this video, we will analyze how Trump 2.0's foreign policy could shape academic opportunities and exchanges between the US and Southeast Asia. First, we'll look back at Trump's past policies on student visas, academic exchanges, and international education funding. Next, we'll explore how potential policy shifts could affect Southeast Asia students hoping to study in the USA and American students heading this way. We will also examine how these changes could impact research collaborations, access to global educational resources, and STEM education. Finally, we'll consider how cultural exchange programs might evolve under a more nationalistic U.S. foreign policy. Now let's dive in. Either future brainiacs and world changers, the regime of pinning up a cool American university, well, usually the USA is like a giant welcome mat for students from all over the globe. But guess what? Remember this guy? Yeah, he's back in the White House. And when he was around before, things got a little complicated for international students. So what's the deal now? Basically, universities are a little worried. See, the US has always been a super popular spot for smart cookies from other countries to come here for awesome schools and a chance to get jobs after. And get this, these students actually help the US economy a ton. Plus, they pay more for tuition, which helps keep the universities running smoothly. It's a win-win. But during Trump's first go-around, his team made some real changes and made things kind of tricky for students wanting to come here. Think of it like changing the rules of your favorite game halfway through. Now he's back. Some of the things are happening again. Let's break it down in a way that doesn't make your head spin. Visa timers. Imagine your permission to stay in the US as a timer. For some students, it might only be for 2 years. After that, they might have to ask for more time. And guess what? They may not get it, even if they need it to finish their degree. It's like saying you can only play half a video game. No entry for some. There's this thing called Proclamation 10043 that basically says some students and researchers from China can't come in. It's like a no entry sign for certain folks. Visa linked mess up. They're thinking about changing the rules for how long your visa lasts. Instead of letting you stay here as long as you're studying, they might give you a maximum set time, like a maximum of 4 years, maybe even just 2 for some countries. It's like they're saying time's up even if you're not finished with school. Money freeze. Uh-oh, they've temporarily stopped giving out some government money for programs like Fulbright, which helps students study abroad. It's like someone turned off the water faucet for a bit. So why would we even care about all of this? Well, less international students means less money for universities. That can mean fewer cool programs and opportunities for everyone. Plus, these students bring awesome new ideas and help the US stay a leader in the world. Basically, if fewer international students come, it could hurt the university's wallets. It's like their piggy bank is getting a little empty. If you're an international student thinking about coming to the US, or if you're already here, it is a good idea to keep an eye on the news and what the government is saying. It's like checking the weather forecast before you plan a picnic. Stay informed.
Anyway, potential policy shifts under a Trump administration could significantly impact international students from Southeast Asia, as well as American students studying in the region. Firstly, the reintroduction of extreme vetting means increased scrutiny for international students applying for U.S. visas. This could involve extended background checks, particularly for students from countries like China and Iran, and require more documentation, potentially needing university support. Secondly, proposed changes to the OPT program, which allows international students to work in the U.S. after graduation, could reduce its duration. Given that over 70% of OPT participants are Asian, this would have a major impact. Additionally, potential increases in H-1B visa wage requirements could limit job opportunities for international graduates seeking to stay in the U.S. Finally, the current pause in U.S. government funding for educational and cultural exchange programs is already causing disruptions. Programs like Fulbright and Gilman scholarships are affected, impacting thousands of students both in the U.S. and abroad, including those planning future exchanges. Potential policy changes could create obstacles for collaborative STEM research between the U.S. and Southeast Asia in fields like biotechnology and AI, potentially delaying or halting projects due to bureaucracy, limited collaboration, and funding cuts. This would slow scientific advancement in both regions. Southeast Asian academics might face limited access to U.S. STEM resources, cutting-edge facilities, and technology due to decreased university collaborations, hindering the growth of their STEM workforce. While there might be an increased emphasis on STEM education within the U.S., focusing on vocational training for industry needs, potential funding cuts to science research agencies and the Department of Education could negatively impact STEM programs and research grants. Stricter immigration policies could also limit the number of international STEM students and researchers in the U.S., potentially causing a talent shortage and hindering innovation. Concerns also exist that public trust in science could be undermined, affecting science literacy and critical thinking. Finally, reduced international research collaborations could limit Southeast Asian students' access to advanced U.S. educational resources and infrastructure vital for STEM education. Potential policy shifts could significantly impact cultural exchange programs, which are vital for international collaboration. A reduced emphasis on soft power might lead to cuts in programs like Fulbright scholarships, meaning fewer opportunities for students from Asia and Southeast Asia to study in the U.S., and for Americans to study there. We could also see program restructuring and fewer bilateral cultural initiatives, reducing the overall number of exchange opportunities. Stricter visa regulations and more rigorous screening processes might make it more challenging and less appealing for Southeast Asian students to pursue education in the U.S. Furthermore, rhetoric or policies that appear exclusionary could create a feeling of unwelcomeness, discouraging talented students from pursuing studies or internships in the United States. As a result, educational institutions in Asia and Southeast Asia might increasingly look towards regional or European partnerships. This could also encourage these countries to invest more in their own educational infrastructure and cultural exchange programs, fostering regional self-reliance. Overall, these potential changes could mean fewer opportunities for students from Asia and Southeast Asia to study in the U.S., leading to a shift towards alternative destinations and stronger regional collaborations. In short, potential U.S. foreign policy shifts could bring both challenges and opportunities for Southeast Asian education. Stricter U.S. visa policies and funding cuts might limit U.S. study opportunities. Research collaborations could face disruptions. Consequently, Southeast Asian students might increasingly look to countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK. Regional hubs in Southeast Asia could also gain importance. However, these shifts also offer opportunities to strengthen educational networks within the region. Here's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.